All right. First of all, thank you all for joining us. Hopefully, you could all hear me. Um, I saw a couple hellos there, Betty and Kimberly. Thank you guys. We'll go ahead and get started. We do have a couple folks assisting us, Roberto and Natalia. Natalia, Senior Director of Marketing for Divine Mercy, and Roberto is our Multimedia Manager. My name is Tom Brooks, and I am the Vice President for Marketing and Admissions at Divine Mercy University. I'm also currently the person working with the candidates for the Ph.D. in Counselor Education and Supervision. So I'll be the one that'll walk anybody through the process that may want to apply and attend DMU. So without any further to do here, we'll go ahead and get started. Um, All right, so about Divine Mercy University. We're an international center for the scientific study of psychology with a Catholic understanding. Divine Mercy University originated in 1999 as IPS, or the Institute for Psychological Sciences. We became a university when we added our second degree program, our first being a degree in our clinical psychology program, our Dr. PsyD. And then we had our Masters of Science in Counseling and our Masters of Science in Psychology. And then recently we launched our PhD in Counselor Education and Supervision, which you're all here for. And then we also have a certificate currently in spiritual direction. And that's becoming part of a new school that we launched called the Lifelong Learning Institute, which will house all of our certificate programs moving forward. So a little bit about Divine Mercy University's vision. Divine Mercy University's vision is to be an international center for scholarship and professional education dedicated to the study of the mind and soul, grounded in an integral Catholic Christian view of the human person. That's a big mouthful, but at the end of the day, we believe that you don't deal with just an issue or a trauma or this or that. We like to talk about the whole person and how to help them. Maintaining the highest academic standards, the institution will educate new generations of professionals in psychology-related fields and open new areas of scholarship for theories that explore the relationship of the human psyche and the Catholic Christian theological, philosophical, and anthropological principles. Our mission is simple. The university provides students an appropriate academic and educational environment that supports the integration of science, scholarship, and a Catholic Christian understanding of the person through a rigorous, critical, and objective search for truth. It assists students intellectually, humanly, and professionally as they prepare themselves to respond to their vocation as mental health professionals or as men and women helping professions. The university's mission also involves dialogue about its integrative approach with practitioners, scholars, and cultural leaders nationally and internationally. Again, today we're here to talk about the PhD in Counselor Education and Supervision program. It's an online hybrid program. It's a 90-credit doctoral program that builds on DMU's Master's in Counseling and Clinical Mental Health Counseling program as a foundation and incorporates 30 credits from the program for the 90-credit doctoral program. If you come from outside of DMU, excuse me, and you have your master's, then same thing. Your credits will move in to fill those 30 credits. Students with graduate degrees in counseling or related fields from accredited institutions can transfer up to 30 credits, as I just mentioned, depending on courses taken in their prior graduate programs. The doctoral program requires an additional 60 credit hours of coursework addressing professional roles in 5 areas: counseling, supervision, teaching, research and scholarship, and leadership advocacy. Additionally, students are required to complete internship experiences in advanced counseling, supervision, and teaching, and a doctoral dissertation of original research. Students are also required to travel to complete 3 extended weekend residencies in the duration of the program. The residencies are designed as working residencies where students gather to encourage each other, practice skills they are learning, and focus on the completion of their dissertations. The Ph.D. in Counselor's Education and Supervision program and curriculum is aligned with premier industry programmatic standards. The Council for Accreditation of Counseling and Related Educational Programs, CACREP, a specialized accrediting body recognized by the Council for Higher Education, CHEA, grants accreditation for master's and doctoral programs in professional counseling. The Ph.D. in Counselor's Education and Supervision program at DMU is not currently accredited by CACREP. DMU cannot hold any promise or guarantee of becoming CACREP accredited. However, DMU is committed to following the CACREP standards in the design, preparation, and deployment of the program, then applying for the CACREP accreditation. And what that really means is, as a new program, we have to wait until we get closer to our first graduating class to submit. And we did this with our master's in counseling program, got a full 10-year grant. We see no real reason why we shouldn't do well with this one as well. Let's talk a little bit about the program requirements. I'm not going to read all of this because it'll make all of us crazy. But in short, the Ph.D. in Counselor Education Supervision, again, consists of 90 hours. The 90 credit program consists of 30 credit hours at the master's degree level and the doctoral level. And as you can see, we have 7 core course content courses, 3 courses in internships, 3 courses in integration, 3 courses in research, and then 17 credits in dissertation, research, and writing. If you were to take the long, slow route, you could take up to 7 calendar years from the date of your admissions to the PhD program, with an academic year comprising of a fall semester, spring semester, and summer semester. In reality, if you're a full-time student, this program really should take you about 2.5 years. If you're what we call a 3/4 student, sometimes you do a little part-time, sometimes you do full-time. It's more likely you'll be through the program in about 3.5 years, depending on how long it takes you to get through your dissertation. The doctoral dissertation topic is developed in close consultation with the student's dissertation chair and a dissertation committee. The student is supported throughout by an intentional process of scaffolding skills needed to be successful in the research and writing of the dissertation. This includes the support of dissertation chair, research design and methodology courses, library resources, and 3 residencies that support the skills and work required for the completion of the dissertation. I get questions quite a bit about what are the residencies really for. As you can imagine, this is a counseling program. One of the things you need to have is either your provisional license or a full licensure, and you are assumed that you're practicing or working in the field, and the residencies allow you to come in and take what you've learned and need to practice with others in real time, and allows you to do that. Every residency really allows you to learn more and more about your skill sets, practice those skill sets, be evaluated in those skill sets, and then either apply some course correction as needed, or continue learning as you go through your program. The first residency is during their first course in the program, and then the same term each following year for students in the program full time. As you can see at the bottom there, it says CES 740, Advanced Seminar on Professional Identity, Legal and Ethical Issues in CES. CES 791, Internship 2, is a Supervision 4-day Residency 2. And then the CES 899, Dissertation Research and Writing 5. Again, these are all things that you'll come on the campus with your cohort and work together on and practice your skill sets. If you're interested in Divine Mercy University's program and you're looking to apply, right now we are taking applications for fall 2025. There is no summer sessions for this program. Currently, we offer courses, start dates of January and August. So again, we're looking for August applicants at this point for fall 2025. In order to apply, you would need a master's degree in counseling or related mental health field from an institution accredited by an agency recognized by the U.S. Department of Education. Preference will be given to applicants who are professionally credentialed in a mental health occupation, clinical or school counseling, marriage and family therapy, social work, psychology, etc. Those accepted without such credentials will need to take the necessary extra courses and internships for those credentials before graduating from the Ph.D. and CES. You need a cumulative GPA of 3.0 or better on a scale of 4.0. You would need to complete the application process. It's important you understand this part. There's kind of two parts to the application process. There's the original application for admissions document, and that's where you just fill out everything that you need to fill out. And then you would also submit it with a application fee. We do have an application fee waiver code that we can provide to you. And then after that, you would need one recommendation form from an academic reference. If you believe you may have trouble obtaining an academic reference, please contact the admissions office, meaning myself, to discuss this requirement. Some folks may have been out. I think currently I've talked to somebody that's been out of school nearly 25 years, and they let me know there's no way they're going to get an academic reference. So we went to the dean and we found another path. Submission of official transcripts from all post-secondary institutions, even if a degree was not awarded. Submission of essays as noted in an application for admission document, and 2 video clips of clinical work. You can role play and a teaching presentation, minimum of 20 minutes each. These are important. I get a lot of questions about these, and you can do them as a role play. If you're a clinician and you've been filming your work and you have a 20-minute snippet, obviously you follow the FERPA and HIPAA rules in submitting those, and you need a release from that client. Or you can basically do kind of a role play, as mentioned here, and submit that. You do need to submit them as videos and not audio. That you have to have faces on screen. I get asked that quite a bit. And then you would need a current curriculum vitae or resume. And again, we mentioned the application fee. Then there's 2 interviews. One you'll do with myself, and then I'll be able to answer all your one-on-one questions, everything from how to invest in your education, start dates, onboarding process, orientation, a number of those things. And we'll go through all of that together. And there's a group interview with other applicants and the CES faculty. Once you've submitted all of your documents for the application process, then that would be forwarded on to the CES faculty. You would be invited to a group interview with 3 to 4 other applicants. There's usually no more than 4 or 5 at a time. And then you kind of go through your interview together. And it helps in a lot of ways. One, you get to know some folks potentially from your cohort if you're accepted. 2, it's a little easier to watch other people give answers and then be able to provide your own, so that it's not all on you, if you will. International applicants. I don't know if there's anybody on here that's an international applicant. But if there is, you must have completed the equivalent of a U.S. master's level degree. Applicants holding degrees from outside the United States must submit any international transcripts to a NACIS approved evaluation service for a course-by-course evaluation of the transcripts. Then once that's completed and it comes back that you are at a master's or above, then you would be be able to get through that part. You'd also need to take a TOEFL, which is basically tested in English, international language testing systems. Within the past 2 years, you can use those. If not, you must take one before your actual group interview. If you do take the TOEFL, you must be at least 100 on the internet-based version, which is the IBT, or 250 on the computer-based version, which is the CBT, and 600 on the paper-based version. Academic IELTS or IELTS scores must fall in the overall band of at least 7.0, with no individual band scores below 6.0. So if you are international, you have taken a TOEFL, please make sure you pay attention to this part. And if need be, you may need to go back and retake it. If you've flown through all these other areas, then you're fine. You see a note down there. It says, if an applicant is interested in international internship, this should be clearly noted on the application. There is an internship piece to this. You can do it through your work. You can do it on the job. There's a number of ways to do your internship. That's another question that comes up. On an international level, it would have to be something that would be approved by the faculty. Hey, how do you pay for your education? Several different ways. Cash is always good. We do take checks. I'm kind of joking. We do have a scholarship and tuition reduction program. Some of you may be graduates of DMU, so you're aware of our scholarship programs. Those of you that are not graduates of ours, then we have a pretty robust tuition reduction program and scholarships available for a ton of different things, including international, first responders. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Religious, and for the most part, all of our students do very well. All of you that are on this call right now or on this webinar, if you apply in the next couple of days, next week or so, then you would be eligible for an early admit scholarship as well. And that's something that you would discuss with financial aid. In addition to scholarships, there are loans, grants, things like that you can look at. And all of that's handled through our financial aid department. We do have some other scholarships. I mentioned, first responders, those kind of thing. We have a Newman School scholarship. If you went to a Newman accredited or Newman school, there's up to a 15% discount. There's merit-based scholarships. We haven't moved into those just yet for this program, but are a ton of other scholarships that you can apply for. So again, financial aid will walk through all that. That is part of the application process. And that's something that you and I would talk to each other about one-on-one. All right, so that was the really quick down and dirty version. Before we close out, what I'd like to do is open it up to the group. And as it says on here, you can see my contact information. My direct line is 703-416-1161. And then you can go online to divinemercy.edu and you can look up the Ph.D. in counselor education and supervision. And then there is a Calendly link where you can go in and find availability. You can also, of course, email me and call me, and we can work together on that. So what I'd like to do maybe is just go through some questions.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for putting this together. I work as a director of one pastoral area in an archdiocese. So we have a very large team of lay ministers that they are constantly doing some work. But what we are aiming now is to improve the standards on the way we are doing ministry work. I wonder if this kind of program would be relevant would be appropriate for the needs we have, or is it just specialized in supervising counselors?
So if I understand your question correct, I want to make sure I understand this. Some of it's relevant to helping the priests with their work.
Yes, the priests, of course, and their staff and the lay ministers working with them at the parish level.
Okay, so obviously this isn't a degree designed to talk about spiritual needs, but from a mental health perspective, absolutely. Um, the folks that graduate from our Ph.D program, which is a doctoral degree in clinical psychology, or our master's in counseling, and now the CES program, all of them have that ability to provide supervision, oversight, and if given, if you will, and then guidance, of course. So yes, it's not directed toward just teaching or something like that.
Okay, that's actually what I'm looking for. We are not supposed to be, given the time we have, directly engaging in ministry work, but accompanying those doing the ministry work. But for that purpose, the scope of work is vast. We have 5 areas of ministry and over 150 parishes. So there's a lot of people looking.
Yes, it is.
Uh-huh.
I
So
would tell you that one of the things that priests, deacons, sisters, consecrated tell us is they are grateful for if they go through one of these programs, getting the mental health and psychological side attuned with the spiritual needs. But they're
of course,
equally
yeah.
happy when there's somebody else on staff that can address the mental health needs versus the
Mhm.
spiritual needs. And usually they find those extremely good partnerships.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Betty Leak, and thank you so much for your presentation. My question is regarding the accreditation. You said that you guys are not accredited yet, and you need your first cohort to come through and graduate in order to get your accreditation, and there's no guarantee. And if there's like, can you say a little bit more about that?
Sure. So we built and started our master's in counseling program from scratch. And the folks that built that program all have successfully run other built and run KCREP program, KCREP approved programs. I'm sorry, and some have served on different boards of the KCREP area. Our current program director and VP actually served as the vice president for the international KCREP area. So they're all well versed in KCREP. They've all participated in not only building programs, but sometimes going around doing evaluations, a number of things. And like I mentioned, as soon as our master's in counseling was ready um, for submission, we submitted it and we got full approval right off the bat. Anytime you launch a new program like this, there's a degree of time that has to be adhered to. And it's really built on the fact that they want to see that you're actually teaching your students, the students are learning and they're progressing and those kind of things. Now, the difference in this program versus our master's program, we didn't have anything ahead of that before that was KCREP approved. It was APA approved for our PsyD program. Now that we have a KCREP approved master's program in counseling, this program's accreditation will go a lot quicker and a lot sooner. So, where it took us nearly 4 years under our master's program, we anticipate this to be right around graduation or right after. So, regardless of when we get it, everybody that starts in this program, our first class start was this January. We just started a class last week, our first class in the CES program. The fall class, anybody that graduates from the program will graduate and receive KCREP accreditation. They'll be able to go through. Most people want to do their internships wherever they're at in their practice and in their work, those kind of things. But if they choose to go to a site to work, which again, many won't, but if they do, they can go to a KCREP approved site as well. So I'm not overly concerned about it. And, but we do have to put a disclaimer in. One, we're not currently KCREP approved for this program. and we do have to wait a little bit before we could submit for the KCREP approval. But again, the people that built it, the folks that run it, our academic folks are phenomenal, and they're all well versed in that world. And if our master's gives us any indication, we won't have any problem in this area either.
Yes, I am. I had to find my mute button. My next question, follow up to that would be, do you all have graduate, I think it's called graduate sponsorships, assistantships, or something like that, where they sponsor you through your PhD program and you assist instructors with it's like their assistant, if you do you all have that?
You're talking about student assistance, basically.
I guess. I don't know. I'm just learning this stuff, so I'm just checking it out. I'm currently now in counseling in my master's, getting ready to enter to my field work. And so interested in my PhD. So once I finish, I wanted to continue forward with my PhD.
Okay. So most of the time, I would say teaching assistants, student assistants, those kind of things, really, I mean, there may be availability. I don't know that that's necessarily the route that most people really will take. Anybody going into the program has to be provisionally licensed or fully licensed. So this degree was built for those folks in mind, meaning we know people are in the field, we know they're working, we know they got odd hours, all those kind of things. So this degree was built to get them through the rigor and training they need, but do it in what I call a kind of nice way. The understanding being that you're working, you're in your field, you're doing different things. So most folks don't really take the route you're saying, whether it's a student assistant, teaching assistant, any of those kind of things. I don't understand the question about sponsorship, so I apologize on that part. But I do believe that, again, as you finish up your master's, what you'll find is that you would probably be better off working in the field anyway, whether it's working in a clinic, your own practice, those.
Yes, hi. But my name is Lolita Gilmore, and my question is, I am a clinical social worker, and um, and I just finished seminary with Portland Seminary, George Fox University. So that question is, as I finish with this, will any of those credits from that doctorate program, that doctoral program, possibly would be accepted into this program? I know I have an MSW with social work and addiction counseling. So that's from Grand Canyon and from Edinburgh on for the master's level. But I guess my primary question, would any of the credits from the doctoral program be considered?
I think I would have to answer that by saying that ideally we're going to bring in 30 credits from your master's level. If you have a doctoral degree or you're in the middle of working on one, you can submit your transcripts for evaluation by the program dean and the VP and the registrar. They'll look at that and maybe they'll award you some credits, or they'll tell you to test out, or maybe you end up doing a portion of a class without having to do the whole class. I don't know that part yet.
Okay. Okay.
Because of the nature of the degree itself, it's not always easy to look at another doctoral program and say, yeah, I can transfer in these.
Right.
So they would go through that with you and help understand what they're looking at and what you learned, and then how that may apply to anything on our side.
Got it. Totally understood. Okay. And then as far as with KCREP, so that for those who are already licensed, that wouldn't be an issue at this point.
Now, if you're
But
already licensed and you've gone through
yeah,
a KCREP program, it's completely irrelevant.
exactly. Okay. That was my question.
Okay. For all of you that may not understand what was just said, and I want to expand on it real quick. Thank you, Lily. I think that it's really, people need to understand that this degree is on top of what you're already doing, which is some kind of counseling work. So pretty much anybody that's gone through and obtained their license probably went through a K-CREP program. So you're already through your licensure and your master's. It's not relevant at this level. They don't take it away or anything like that. But you know, obviously our goal is to apply for and be approved for K-CREP accreditation at the CES level. So if you want to teach down the road, which is one component of this, then, you know, it is an area that you want to make sure that the K-CREP approval is there. And again, I don't see a problem with us getting it. But, you know, again, we just started our first class. We're working on our second class now. And, you know, so it's going to be a few minutes before we get to the application process for K-CREP.
Hi,
Right.
this is Mary Smythe. And I
Right.
was wondering, is it a requirement to be working in a counseling position while you're obtaining your degree? I'm a retired LCSW with a 30-year career in community mental health. But I've recently retired and I wanted to do this program and then go back to teaching.
Mary, nope. I think that you would be probably the third or fourth person that's in the same boat. We have several retirees that want to do the same thing. They kind of want to get this degree, go back and teach. And, you know, there's a huge need in the counseling area, as most of you may know, if not all of you that are in counseling already. You're going to need this degree if you want to go and teach down the road. And to be a teacher in counseling, you're going to have a CES degree. So, no, Mary, I think that you'll be fine. The fact you got 30 years under your belt, you probably know a few things. So, yes, you'll be fine.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm sorry, did you pronounce your last name as Smythe?
Yes,
I want to make sure I understand. Thank you.
thank you.
All right, who else we got? So if there's no other questions, I'm hoping that I hear from several of you on my Calendly. I'll be following up over the next few days with calls to everybody that attended. And I look forward to talking to you folks and appreciate everybody that attended. Thank you very much.